Evening, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. It's wonderful to be here. It's incredible to see how many people around the world are logging in. We've had over 350 people signing up for this webinar, so we are very excited to be discussing Harish, a new city in Israel. Just a little bit about me. For those who don't know me from South Africa, I was formerly the National Director of the Zionist Federation. I made Aliyah with my family 2 years ago, and we are, thank God, coming up to our 2-year anniversary. And I joined the whole team a couple of months ago. And it's hard to believe that Tessa and Alona, we met a couple of weeks ago in Harish, and we spoke about making this happen. And here we are tonight. So thank you for joining us. Thank you to everyone from around the world for joining us. Just some house rules. We will be taking questions in the Q&A box. If you have a question, you're welcome to pop your question in the Q&A box and not the chat box. And we will be answering questions towards the end of the webinar. So let's kick off. Let's start with my first guest, Liat, who's a friend and a colleague. Liat, it's great to see you. Liat is the director of the Israel Center in South Africa. Liat, tell us a little bit about yourself and what your role is.
So I'm the director of the Israel Center, the head of the Jewish Agency activity in South Africa, responsible of all what the Jewish Agency doing in South Africa. Part of it is Aliyah and program in Israel and all the relationship and connection. I moved here 2.5 years ago with my husband and 4 boys. I moved from Eliav. Eliav is in the other side of Harish, the other side of Road 6, to those of you who know. But I really fan of living in the periphery of Israel. I think being here and hearing all the families that coming to me, Ra'anana, Modi'in, Bet Shemesh, Ra'anana, Modi'in, Bet Shemesh, it's like, okay, it's nice, but it's expensive and it's fully booked. And if you want to feel unique and meaningful, and I think to be part of area that developed and changed, I think you should head to the periphery. I think also we sometimes see people that are looking for something else, want to be more engaged in the Israeli society, want to live in somewhere else. I think us need to offer them all the country, all the state of Israel. There is so much, so many different places, so many amazing places to live in. And I think this opportunity is amazing that we're offering and telling them about Harish. Thank you, Nikki, for that.
With pleasure. Liat, can you give us some general statistics about Aliyah? What are the Aliyah numbers? Kind of what are the trends? What are people looking for? Give us a sense of what's happening in your world at the moment.
Okay. So in general, there is more than 20,000 Olim each year to Israel. 25, 23, depend what's the situation and how people are able to get into Israel. From South Africa, we're talking about around 400 people in the last few years. And I think this year we're going to heading to the 500 people making Aliyah from South Africa. I think it's a big number for the size of this community. We're talking about all type of people. I just finished, just before you, I had a Zoom with 46 people that's making Aliyah next Tuesday. So we gave them the last instruction and information, and we say goodbye, and we bless them to their beginning. And looked at the Zoom just by the faces, such a diverse group of people. Young people that are going to start their life, elderly people that are going to join their kids or just want to retire in Israel, religious, secular, male, female, from all the different community of South Africa, you see people deciding to make Aliyah. I think, it's easier to make Aliyah as much as you're young. If you are young in your 20s or if you're a young couple, it's easier to make Aliyah. If you are older than that, it's easy if you have money. It's less, it's difficult if you're coming with nothing and you are not really joining the job market. So I'm telling the truth. I'm always people telling me that I'm a very honest person about Aliyah. I'm not marketing Aliyah. I believe Aliyah is something that you need to decide about it, to be sure that you want to go on Aliyah and to understand all what it's meaning to make Aliyah. And it's not easy. And I start my other Zoom by saying them, you're going to the most difficult times of your life. Making Aliyah, it's difficult. And Nikki, you probably can quote me and Julian as well. it's not easy. It's a lot of obstacle, adjusting to a new culture, getting to know new people, and you just need to find the right place to live in and the surrounding and the support system to make it successful.
And I think that's the reason why we spoke about hosting a webinar like this on a new city, on the new city of Harish, because I know for sure when I was making Aliyah, there were kind of a few options that I heard about, that people spoke about, because I knew people that lived there, and I didn't really have the opportunity to learn more about a new city or a new place, which is the inspiration for this webinar. Liat, just one last question, and we will, if there are questions at the end, we'll put them forward to you if there's time. Where can people go for support on the application process if they're looking? Is there a website? Can you just direct people? Because we've had a lot of questions. And I'm sure it differs around the world, but I think there is one place that people can go to open up applications.
So people can come to us, to the Israel Center. We're now working on a new website, so you can come still now to our old one, but hopefully in a week or two we'll have a new one with all the new information. And you can always call us, the Israel Center in South Africa. We will refer you to all the information, all the process. We launch a new movie that's giving you all the information. We will refer you to all the different angles of the process, and we will be there with you. I will put the information on the chat just now.
Okay, amazing. Thanks, Liat. Thanks for joining us and being here tonight, and it's just so great to see you. Okay, great.
Just to jump in, I think, Liat, just something that you said, which was very true, that it's not easy. But shortly after we made Aliyah, I was chatting to a friend of mine in South Africa about that, and he pointed out quite cleverly. He said that just because it's not easy doesn't mean that it's bad. And it actually, it quite resonates quite well, to think about that, because you do go tough times.
Yeah.
I think all change is tough. All change is tough. Yeah. But I can say from my perspective, I can only talk from a personal perspective, that it's hard being away from friends and family, but it's really wonderful to be in Israel.